Ice cream is probably the one thing where it's like I can't stop. Like if I ever want to get to 200 pounds, just go ahead and stick my refrigerator and fill it up with Bluebell.
So how did you guys meet in the first place? Like, what's each of your earliest memories of that?
Well, there's one memory. He came traipsing in the golf shop and into my office with his dad, and his dad said, Will would like to take some lessons and get going here. And we had a pretty good conversation for an 11-year-old, I'll put it that way.
When you kind of challenge an 11-year-old, it's like, it's gonna go one way or the other way, nothing in between. It's either gonna be, I don't wanna do this, this is very intimidating, or I've gotta get to work. And thankfully I took the latter. And my dad always laughs because he was like, I think there was one point where it looked like you were about to start crying because of how intense it was.
I'd had that conversation with a lot of kids, and a lot of kids would say, yeah, okay, I get it, I understand. But, and some do, some did, but not to the level he did. I mean, it was immediate, and his practice sessions when he was 11 and 12 years old were choreographed. It's unique for kids at that age to come out and have a plan on hitting balls.
I mean, we would go through, these pyramids of balls probably had like 150 balls, and we'd go through 3 or 4 of them in like an hour and 45 minutes. Each shot I hit had a purpose, like we were trying to work on something. Even now, everything that I do goes back to stuff that we did when I was 11, 12, 13. Nothing's changed.
How hard were you on him?
Pretty hard. I wanted him to understand pressure. In talking about the drill, hitting greens and things like that, I wanted him to understand that it had nothing to do with anything but him making the swing, and to not be concerned about anything else.
If he told me to go, jump off a cliff, and if he told me it made me a better golfer, I would have jumped off a cliff. But he was a world-renowned rules official. He started me at number 10 this year at the PGA Championship. He's still very involved with the PGA of America, but him coming back and telling me stories of all the top guys, telling me stories about Tiger, or hey, this guy did this guy did that, and I just soaked it up. Wow, I think we need some more food.
Awesome.
We need to get some plates.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Some bun-ins, ribs, brisket, and some pulled pork.
And you guys know each other, right?
I've known Will since he was 12.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, maybe even younger, but Scott and my dad did a bunch of work together. Family's been great friends of ours, and he makes really good food.
I don't know if you're a foodie too, but you're definitely a foodie.
I am.
Right?
I get that from my father.
Holy cow.
Goodness gracious.
That is awesome.
Being born in San Francisco, there's all different types of cuisines and whatnot. Yeah, go ahead and stick that one right in front of me. Thank you. Can't come down to Texas and not have some barbecue. We got fried okra over here with some of that chipotle mayo. That's killer. We got the burn ends right here. These two right here, literally on speed dial for me.
How much time do you spend thinking about food?
I may weigh like 104 pounds or whatever you want to say I weigh, but I love cooking. I love getting to know more about it. It's just a fun art. Well, you better get that before I take all of it.
So your go-to meals, or what?
Dim sum Chinese food is just so delicate and so good, and it's actually like fairly healthy if you stay away from the fried foods. But and then obviously we talked about Thai food. Ice cream is probably the one thing where it's like I can't stop. Like if I ever want to get to 200 pounds, just go ahead and stick my refrigerator and fill it up with Bluebell. And
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
See
sickening.
what effect it's had on you.
Yeah, I know.
How well, if at all, do you remember conversations you had with Will during that 1.5-year period when he'd left college and was kind of struggling to start off his career?
Unfortunately, he was kind of in no man's land, which most of these kids are coming out of college now. He struggled 2 years in a row trying to get through tour school, and that was disappointing to him. Lost confidence on the putting green was getting to his head with everything. But he told me when he came back from school that he had gone to this arm lock method. He said, this is what I'm going with, and I'm going to get it. And obviously he has.
If not for David, you'd be where?
Picking up balls. on the
Probably.
driving range.
Probably. I'd be at a golf course, but I definitely wouldn't be hitting balls on the range. I might be the one either putting them up there.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Let me tell you an interesting story about when he was 12 years old and when he won his first AJGA tournament. He was in my office before he went out, and he brought in a map that he had drawn. He had a map of the golf course. He had made up his own yardage book based on going on Google Earth, pulling up the golf course, looking at each hole, drawing it out. And this was 12 years old. I just thought that was just amazing that a young guy would do that. Well, he's done that all of his life. He's out-prepared people.